Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to brainstorm or discuss about what are the causes that lead to stress or a sense of pressure in our body. Like what are the things which contribute to stressful situations in the humans. So as per the today's word, the conditions or the situations which lead to stress are number one, I would say lack of money. If there's not adequate money or we are not financially that much independent, then definitely if we're financially dependent on someone else or we do not have enough money to lead a comfortable life, so definitely there will be a sense of stress or a sense of anxiety in our mind that how we are going to survive or how we are going to pay our rent, fees or debts for the next month. So this is automatic. So first of all, we have to figure out how we can earn that much amount which through which we can lead a comfortable life. Okay, so this is the first pillar. Talking for the next point, I would say the next thing which leads to stress is if you're earning high enough but if you're not able to save enough. Like whenever all of us would have experienced that whenever we are in stress or whenever we are in some critical situation, we always look back upon our savings or our backups or our things on which we can fall upon. So if we have a good amount of savings or we know that we can even survive if there's a lack of job or there's no support from anyone else, even if we are aware that we can survive on our savings for about 6 to 7 months or even 1 year, then that gives a hell lot of support or hell lot of comfort to us. So second one I would say is the savings, not in terms of only money, but if you are saving, if you have certain savings in form of assets like getting a house on rent or getting gold or something like this, if we have certain assets on which we can rely upon uh, in a difficult time, so that definitely calms or suits our inner mind. uh, so second one is if we are aware that even in the dire situations or even in the difficult situations we can survive in terms of financially, then this gives a lot of comfort to us. So I would say the second point would be if our savings are not that up to that point, so this is the second situation which leads to stress. Third, I would say is comparison. Whenever we are comparing to a to people who are above us or below us, both of the things give us stressful situations. Now let me explain this. When I say that we are comparing to people who are above us in terms of status, in terms of so-called status, so-called money and finances, etc. So whenever in terms of capabilities, in terms of positions, anything else, if we are putting ourselves in a situation of comparison in whatever parameters we are mentioning, then this leads to a sense of pressure or sense of stress in our mind. Extending to this point, I would say even if we are comparing to people who are below us, like our juniors or subordinates, so if we are comparing to those people also who are below us in terms of standards, in terms of money or whatever stand or whatever things we are comparing, then also it leads to a particular amount of stress or a particular amount of pressure in our mind. How? Like for example, if you're working in a company and we are comparing ourselves with a junior and a junior is much more efficient than us, we know in our mind that a junior is much more efficient than us, then there always will be a sense of fear or a sense of stress that this person who is my junior can overtake me, can overtake my position. So rather than focusing on that rather than on focusing on the capabilities and strategies of my junior, I should focus what can be the better is that I should focus on my own particular capabilities, how can I extend my skills and all those things. So this is the third point. And fourth is expectations. So like if we have any sort of expectation of changing anyone, any anyone, any of the behaviors or any, if we have a sense of changing this world, then this definitely will lead to a hell amount of stress in our mind. Like, to elaborate this, I would give an example. Like, for example, if we are expecting from our partner to change just because of ourselves, so there's a trap even if that person changes, or even if that person does not changes. Like, it's like something we have given our switch. Like, for example, we are all bulbs, and whenever we have given the switches of ours in everybody's hands. Like, for example, we give importance to, say about 50 people in our life. So we have given these switches to 50 people, like our relatives, our friends, everyone, our bosses, and everyone are around us. So whenever they want, they can put off our switch, and whenever they want, they can, put our on switch. So normally many people would have experienced this. Whenever the people behave good to them, they feel good. Whenever they are being praised by the bosses, they feel good. Whenever they are being behaved well by their partners, they feel well. Whenever there's an exact opposite of this, they feel very bad, they feel anxious, they feel stressful. So actually what is happening is that we have given our buttons of happiness, or our buttons of peace or calmness, to someone else. So this is a trap. Yeah. So summing up on all these things, I would say there are only four situations which can, there are furthermore, but the most important ones are these four, which can lead to a stress or anxiety in our mind. Firstly, I would say financially. If you're financially stable, then this gives a hell lot of comfort to us. Second is that if we have particular amount of savings, like there's an it is embedded in our mind that we have something to fall upon, something, even if the which is not a person, because if if you're matured enough, then you would have understood everybody can change. That's okay, everybody can change. So we cannot rely 100% upon any person. If we have particular assets on which we can rely upon or fall back upon in our difficult times, this is the second one. Third, I would say comparison of any sort of ourselves with anyone else. Either that person is inferior or superior to us in our minds, so that leads to stress. And the third one is expectations. Whether the expectations are being fulfilled or not being fulfilled, both of them are a trap. So keeping unrealistic expectations, I would say, is a trap. Like, extending the last point, like, about this, I would say, uh, even if the expectations are being fulfilled, then, like for example, whenever the desires are fulfilled, this leads to more desire. Like, for example, if you want to buy, you might have ever experienced this. Whenever we want to buy a cycle, and we get a cycle, then the feeling of getting a bike comes. After bike, car comes. Like, if you're getting, for example, a salary of 3 lpa, then that person will think, how can I get 5 lpa? Then after that, how can I get 8 lpa? How can I get 12 lpa? So this is a never changing cycle. So never ending cycle. So fulfilling getting expectations fulfilled leads to more expectations, which can never be, all the expectations cannot be fulfilled, however, at any point of time. So even if the expectations are fulfilled, or even if the expectations are not fulfilled will lead to stress, some sort of anxiety and ourselves. So getting into this expectation zone is unrealistic expectation zone, is a trap. Thank you so much for watching me. Yeah.